When you play CSGO, chances are you'll see a lot of mistakes made time and time again. Well, we've noticed them too and are here to count down our top 10 mistakes CSGO players make. Consider this a good noob guide if you're hoping to get into CS as well, as these are the mistakes you'll want to avoid. My name is Taco, and welcome to ValveGuides. At number 10, we have practicing. The first thing we've noticed is that people who hop into CSGO for the first time automatically assume they'll be good at the game and go straight for competitive. But in reality, even these prodigies practice for years and years at their craft due to the heightened interest in it. CSGO is kinda like that. Practice over and over again, and you should learn the ropes. Speaking of which, coming in at number 9 is learning from the pros. A mistake we see a lot of arrogant folks make is assuming that they'll just be better at the game than the pros. This mindset can stick with you even after months or years of practice, making you more and more arrogant. The best idea is to stop and watch some pros play and take notes. Pro players are the best out there, which means that they're your best bet to learn pro-level skills. At number 8 is settings. A problem we see with FPSs like Overwatch and CSGO is that players try too much to imitate others in terms of settings, so they mess with their game settings in hopes that they will make them better. In reality, always changing your settings makes it even harder to get used to your controls, constantly throwing you off. Do what makes you comfortable and your skills should improve. Coming in at number 7 is focusing on unimportant weapons. In CSGO, there are 3 weapons that form a holy trinity: the AK, the M4, and the AWP. But we see plenty of people try to make the Negev.
More, will he go for the left click hold? And he gets 2 right after that! Headshots on all 3 of them, looking for both, he gets it! Can he get the ace?
Or M249 work, which, while noble, isn't a move recommended for noobs. Focus on those 3 weapons we mentioned, and you should be gold, as they're dependable powerhouses that will get the jobs done. Other weapons like the Galil, FAMAS, and even some SMGs are useful without a doubt, but focusing on the essentials is a priority when starting out. Coming in at number 6 is reloading. Reloading is one of the most important things in an FPS, as you'll always want a full magazine so you don't lose a firefight.
Guns in Counter-Strike have magazines that hold rounds. When you run out, you have to put a new one in. That's called reloading.
CSGO is the exception, as given its faster pace, you may not want to reload until you're out of ammo or you're sure no one is near. As if you reload, you make yourself a bit of a helpless target that can be easily gunned down by an enterprising foe. So pretty much don't be that guy who reloads when he has only one single bullet. You'd be surprised at how much can save you. On another note, it's possible to fake the enemy out with a reloading sound. If you start to reload and quickly change weapons and change back, the reload cancels but the sound keeps playing. You can make the enemy think you're reloading and surprise them when they try to take you in an aim duel. At number 5, we have controlling your temper. This one is particularly tough for noobs. But we've seen plenty of people walk in calm and controlled only to die until they get frustrated and angry. The problem is that getting mad means you get irrational and start making mistakes. We recommend stopping, breathing, drinking some water, and reminding yourself it's just a game. Nothing worth breaking your keyboard over. Number 4, charging as a CT. A mistake we see people, especially those unfamiliar with the rules of CS, do is charge the enemy constantly no matter what side they're on. When you're terrorist, this isn't the worst idea in the world, but when you're CT, it's terrible as you'll likely run into a group of terrorists who will turn you into Swiss cheese. There are times to push as a CT, but the majority of the time isn't one of those times. Just hang back with your team and let the terrorists walk into a killing field, because sometimes they'll wind up with mistimed aggression. Speaking of which, at number 3 is mistimed aggression. This happens a lot when you play as terrorist or you're tempted to charge up the bomb site only to realize you're not with your team. The enemy has full utility and you don't have a clue what the counter-terrorist setup is. Waiting can draw out information as to how many people are playing on a site, and you can get them to waste utility on you. If they've thrown 2 smokes, you know there are at least 2 people in the general area. You also know that there's a good chance that they won't have another smoke grenade to stop your full push. We've seen plenty of players, especially terrorists, charge in to arm the bomb only to be gunned down. But there's a way around this, and it leads us to our other mistake in a battle. Coming in at number 2 is map control. There are 2 ways people define map control. Some say it's having knowledge of the map and knowing the common flanks, nade spots, and pushes on each map. Others would define it as anchoring around the map and controlling the entire map. It doesn't matter how you define it, as both of these are necessities. Not only do you need to be able to know everything about the map layout, but controlling where the enemy is and where you're letting them push is important.
This allows him to not only prevent you gaining mid control as a terrorist, but also allows the rest of his teammates to focus on other avenues and not worry about being flanked from mid.
Before we jump into number 1, we'd like to have a huge thanks to our sponsor CSGO Roll. On CSGORoll.com, you can play fun games like Crash, Dice, and Roulette. You can win some awesome skins. If you want to get started, use code GUIDES or the link in the description to get 50 cents for free. At number 1, we have communication.
Teamwork in CSGO is only slightly less important than being able to move and shoot.
Specifically, the lack of it here, and you know what I mean, the guy who assumes he's Rambo and refuses to talk to his team. This usually leads to the aggression thing we mentioned earlier and your team being turned into Swiss cheese. Plus, a communicating team will be able to easily steamroll you over and over again. It's the most important quality on team-based shooters for a reason, and that's why it takes number 1. There's no I in team, but there is a me. So, I don't know. Well everyone, that does it for this video. If you enjoyed, let us know by leaving a like and a comment. If you want to see more content, hit that subscribe button. Again, thanks for watching, and stay amazing.